everyone, welcome to episode number 1 of the Ask Two Dudes show with Milo.
Dude 1.
And Chris.
Dude.
And we also have a special guest today, Mr. Roger Wakefield from Texas Green Plumbing.
Guest number 1.
Today we're going to be talking about a lot of real estate, mortgage, and of course some plumbing issues. Roger, I go out, I see a lot of different stuff. I mean, number one factor out there is foundations in Texas, and I guess number 2 is really roofing. And you deal mostly with plumbing, so a lot of times what happens is like the foundation cracks and there's some issues, and it kind of like offsets stuff, and then plumbing breaks. Can you kind of go into what you see on like your calls in terms of what people are calling about, inspections, that kind of stuff, and kind of give us your point of view?
Absolutely. First thing I tell realtors when helping someone buy a house is to do a sewer and a water test. Sewer and water test is what leads to foundation problems, or the foundation is shifted, and that's what leads to the problems breaking the plumbing lines. You can check the meter and see if it's spinning. You've got a low flow indicator on it. A plumber will also come out, do a hydrostatic test on it, and then also put a test ball in the sewer line, fill it up to see if there's a leak under the slab. That's the biggest investment other than a roof or foundation repair a new home buyer can have buying a house, so that can be the biggest problem.
Okay. Now, do you do like a pressure test like after the repairs and stuff like that, or just to find the repairs?
If there are foundation problems, I always tell people get the foundation work done first, then come in, do a sewer and water test to make sure that there's not any other problems that are going to lead to more foundation problems in the future.
I had that happen on a deal.
Really?
Yeah, so a client of mine decided to buy his mom's house, did the inspection, apparently there's foundation issues. They go in and some of the foundation work caused plumbing issues. He's spending about $65,000 on the $70,000 purchase.
Wow.
So his little mini quick flip turned into this nightmare of a production. And when they finally got everything done, it was all copper plumbing. The foundation was great. Hydrostatic test was perfect. But it was a beatdown.
It is.
Go ahead.
What I was going to say, that is the last thing you want. As a home buyer, it's not a big deal. If you've got people like this on your side, you come in, you do the test before you buy the house. If you're still interested in that house, there's nothing there that can't be fixed. So now you turn around, what I tell my realtors is turn it around, put it on the seller, say, look, we know there's a leak. We found that for you. The disclosure agreement says they have to tell everybody.
Right.
If your client is still interested, he can have the seller find the repairs, make the repairs, and then move on from there. And if they're still interested in the house, it's all fixed like that.
What was that one story you told me about where the sewer, the line going outside of the sewer was like messed up or broken or whatever, especially like in the older homes? Tell me a little bit about that story.
One of the first big slab bleeps I did after starting my own company, I had a friend who was buying a house and wanting to flip it. And they bought the house, they had everything done. New floors, new paint, almost everything was complete. Somebody came in to buy the house, wanted to do a sewer test. They do a sewer test, the water level goes down. They said, hey, look, you've got a slab leak. Problem was, there were 8 leaks. We put 11 holes in the floor to replace about 95% of the pipe. After you spend $13,000, $14,000 that you weren't planning on,
right,
you don't make a lot of money on your flip.
Like you lost me at 8.
Yeah. Exactly.
8 leaks, I'm out.
Yeah.
That story just went downhill and I was tuned out. Wow.
So as you can probably tell, it gets pretty hairy with issues with foundations and water and plumbing, stuff like that. Right now, I'm actually dealing with an issue where somebody's purchasing a home and the actual realtor wrote in, I'm representing the seller, different repairs that need to be done. And it's actually holding up the closing because those repairs need to be done before the lender can actually send out documents and get that deal closed. Do you want to input on that or piggyback on any of that stuff?
It's true. If you, as a realtor, have items that need to be done, whether you're representing the seller or the buyer, we need to know. The lender needs to know. We need to know what that list is. We need to have target dates, and we need to be updated. We reach out to realtors left and right, at least my team does, the Draven Luxury Group. We're only as good as the team we're with. And I love working with Chris because Chris is on top of his game. We don't miss closing dates. We know when things are happening. It has to be a teamwork effort. It has to be in conjunction, in sync. Otherwise, people are blaming each other, and there's nobody to blame.
Right.
When it's all said and done, you got to get the work done.
And you got to work together.
And,
no matter
right,
what.
in a timely manner.
Right.
We're all trying to get to the same end goal. Somebody trying to get a new home. Changing somebody's life. Helping a family.
What was that deal that you're working on now with the mortgage? It was like a USDA deal, or
So got somebody who, the grass is always greener where there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow because the unicorn took you there. But he wants to do a USDA loan, no money down, and of course my suggestion is don't do it. And here's why. You've got no money invested in the game. You've got typically in those rural areas, the home values are dropping because you've got people foreclosing. People bought more house than they could afford.
right?
So now they're just tumbling down, tumbling. And when it's all said and done, if you don't have money, chances are you don't have credit. So sure enough, his credit score isn't high enough to do a USDA loan. We're trying to build. So now we're spending money trying to get credit repair up. It's a beat down. I'm trying to get him just to do an FHA. Look, you qualify for FHA. You got 3.5% down. You got closing costs in the bank. What are we jacking around with?
Right.
Free does not exist. Free does not exist.
Everybody thinks it does.
I mean, if you're getting it for free, it's not worth a damn.
For you guys, this is our first episode. So if you have questions regarding real estate and mortgage, please go to Twitter, #Ask2Dudes. We will go and ask and answer those questions the best we can. We actually have a question for you today. Tony Romo got hurt. It's football season. Do you think he's coming back? Let us know. Hit us up in the comments. We appreciate it. Thanks for joining us for episode number 1.
Dude, one out.
Thanks, guys.
Mid-America Mortgage Incorporated, NMLS 150009, is an equal opportunity lender.